Good morning, everyone, and welcome to IT Symposium Expo. Thank you. Thank you. I'm Mary Mesaglio.
And I'm Hung LeHong. We live in a world where AI has made the outrageous seem mundane. Guess how often someone releases a new Gen AI foundation model? Once a month? Once a week? How about once every 2.5 days?
Here's where Gen AI is on the Gartner hype cycle. It's just past the peak. At the same time, nearly half of CIOs say that AI hasn't met ROI expectations. It sort of feels like you're at the peak and in the trough at the same time. That's because there are actually two AI races taking place. The first one is happening outside your organization in the industry. That's the tech vendor race.
Some people might tell you that this is your race, that you must adopt the latest AI or else you'll fall behind. But it's just not true. You don't have to win this race. As a matter of fact, you're not even in this race, but you are in some kind of race. You can feel it. 57% of CIOs are tasked with leading the AI strategy in the organization. And even with all this Gen AI fatigue of the last year, you're still under pressure from CEOs to execute.
CEOs agree that there's AI hype, but they largely think it's justified. For years, only around 20% of CEOs said that AI was the tech that would most impact their industry. Then, in 2023, that number leapt to 59%, and in 2024, it leapt again to 74%. We said there are two races. The second race is a race to deliver AI outcomes safely and at scale. This is your race. And this is why it can feel like you're at the peak and in the trough at the same time. Because the relentless innovation happening in the tech vendor race makes it feel like you're always living the hype. While the reality of your AI outcomes race, how tough it is to get real value, makes it feel like you're also in the trough.
If you're in IT, like it or not, you're in the AI outcomes race. Now, the good news is that you set your pace. If you have modest AI ambitions in an industry that isn't being reinvented by AI just yet, you can afford to go at a more measured pace. This is the AI steady pace. For those of you with bigger AI ambitions, or in an industry that is being reinvented by AI, your pace will be much faster. This is the AI accelerated pace.
Now, if you're not squarely responsible for AI, you might be thinking that you're a spectator in this race. Maybe you're thinking, why are we talking about AI when I'm just upgrading ERP? But AI is impacting all corners of IT. In fact, AI will likely be upgraded into AI will likely be implemented into ERP in the next upgrade or two. It's here. And as Hung said, you set your pace, but you're in the race.
Whether you're moving at an AI steady or AI accelerated pace, you have to deliver 3 types of AI outcomes: business outcomes, technology outcomes, and behavior outcomes. Now, the whole point of AI in the enterprise is the promise of amazing business benefits. So we'll address these first. The truth is that you've been in the mud for the last year, working hard to find all those benefits that were promised by AI, and it hasn't been easy. Here are the AI benefits you've told us you're aiming for. Globally, an average enterprise expects 50% of their AI benefits to be focused on employee productivity, 30% on process improvement, and 20% on business model innovation. One of the easiest ways to determine if you can move at an AI steady or AI accelerated pace is to ask yourself, what are the benefits that my enterprise is looking for? If employee productivity is your main focus, then an AI steady pace will work for you. But those of you saying, my leadership and I, we want all of those benefits, then you need to move at an AI accelerated pace. Let me start with employee productivity, since a lot of you are focused there. Let me just say this bluntly. Getting productivity value from Gen AI is harder than it looks. First, to get productivity to increase, you have to get your people to actually use the new AI tools and then keep using them.
It turns out that IT leaders almost universally find that employees are eager to try new AI tools, but most of them admit that employees have a hard time integrating AI into their daily work. I think a lot of people thought that using everyday AI would be as easy as ChatGPT, and it's not. Employees who've successfully integrated AI into their daily work say that they get almost 4 hours of time back per week. That's awesome, right? That's 43 minutes saved per day. What would you do with 43 extra minutes in a day? Work harder? Personally, I'd go get a latte. We have a formal name for going to get a latte. It's called productivity leakage. Gartner expects you, productivity leakage. Gartner expects you to experience between 10 and 30% leakage, depending on the use case. The bottom line is that time saved doesn't necessarily translate into increased business benefit.
But here's the real challenge with AI productivity. Productivity from gains from Gen AI are not equally distributed. Gains will vary by employee according to the complexity of the job and the level of experience. Here's what I mean. With traditional automation, we all get equal productivity benefits. If the automation fills out an address for us, it doesn't matter what our role is or how much experience we have. You're an experienced worker, it fills out the address. You just started, it fills out for the address too. But Gen AI is not like that. Take Mbula, an agent in a government call center. She's only been there for 6 months. But when Mbula is assisted by Gen AI, she's able to resolve issues for citizens much faster than without it. Now, if we walk down 4 cubicles to Frank, who's been there for 5 years, you give Frank Gen AI, it's almost useless for him. He's been there for 5 years. He already knows how to resolve citizens' issues. Frank's call recordings probably trained the AI in the first place.
Mbula and Frank were doing relatively low complexity work. Now consider a lawyer. Their work is more complex. Give a newly minted lawyer Gen AI, and it won't help much. They can't tell good AI output from bad yet because they're new. But give Gen AI to an experienced lawyer, and it can boost them a ton. They know what good looks like. This example is the exact opposite of Mbula and Frank. Here, the experienced lawyer gets the biggest boost because getting the AI benefit requires deep experience of the law, and only really experienced lawyers have that.
What makes achieving AI productivity easier is matching job complexity and job experience. The rule of thumb is that you'll get more AI productivity when you match low complexity and low experience, or high complexity with high experience. If you get this right, you'll unlock AI productivity across the whole enterprise. Now, knowing all of this, if you had 40 people in your call center, would you give them all Gen AI, no matter what their level of experience? Of course you would. All of the agents get some kind of boost, but there is a sweet spot, the deep productivity zone. We recommend you find these deep productivity zones and focus there.
Let me give you one more thing that will help you on your quest for more AI productivity. Neophilia. Yep, I just said neophilia. And I know it sounds like something you really don't want to catch. But bear with me, it's actually a really good thing. Neophilia is defined as a natural attraction to newness. You're a neophiliac if you're someone who went out and bought the Apple Vision Pro goggles on the first day. You're not a neophiliac if you're someone who, after 15 years, still wishes you had your BlackBerry. Some of you are not neophiliacs, I can tell. Your action is to search for your neophiliacs. They are your change champions. They can show their peers how to use AI way better than management can.
So for those of you going at an AI steady pace, employee productivity is mostly what you seek. And you'll get that benefit by focusing on deep productivity in that sweet spot. If you get productivity right, it also leads to other benefits. In the public sector, cities like Austin and Vancouver are using AI from Australian company Archistar to process building permit requests much faster. The AI checks drawings and submissions to automatically approve for compliance. In this case, productivity leads to happy citizens and happy builders. In the industrial sector, they're also going beyond employee productivity. John Deere, a heavy machinery company, uses AI on their sprayers to help farmers reduce herbicide amounts by more than half. Why spray the whole field when AI can detect where the problem areas are and spray just those? If employee productivity is the only benefit that you want from AI, don't you want more? Like asset yield, speed, new revenue, customer experience, reduced losses? Those of you running at an AI accelerated pace, you definitely do. And those of you running at an AI steady pace will use employee productivity as a gateway to all of these benefits.
Costs are the other side of business outcome, and they're a challenge in AI no matter what pace you're running at. The first thing to know about AI investments is that they're not like conventional IT investments. In the near term, Gartner believes that cost is as big an AI risk as security or hallucinations. With Gen AI, it's really easy to waste money.
How easy? Well, if you don't understand how your Gen AI costs scale, you can make a 500 to 1,000% error in those cost estimates. That's not a typo. This cost derailment can come from all sorts of places, from inference costs and data prep costs and grounding costs. Meanwhile, software vendors are raising prices by up to 30% as they incorporate Gen AI. So how much should you spend? In 2023, organizations that are already deploying Gen AI typically spent between $300,000 and $2.9 million US just in their proof of concept phases.
Here's what to do. For those of you running at an AI steady pace, you need to understand the bill. Remember your first cloud bill? Your first reaction was probably shock. How could it cost that much? Your second reaction might have been confusion. What are they even charging me for? It's like that with Gen AI. No matter what pace you're running at, you need to understand the bill. For those of you running at an AI accelerated pace, we recommend you monitor these AI costs at all times, just like the way some of you monitor your cloud costs today. Also, some of our clients have avoided spending millions of dollars on Gen AI by using an API with their own web front end instead of buying a packaged AI product. One last idea. When you do a proof of concept, don't just do it to prove that the technology works and that employees like it. Use the proof of concept to also understand how your costs will scale. When you do this, your proof of concept becomes a proof of value.
Let's do a recap. You're on the hook for business outcomes, which means mastering both the AI benefits and the costs. Those of you that are going at an AI steady pace are pursuing productivity. Your action is to switch focus from traditional productivity to deep productivity. If you're going at an AI accelerated pace, your goal is to go beyond productivity and manage the whole portfolio of benefits afforded by Gen AI. And whether you're AI steady or AI accelerated, remember that costs with Gen AI are unpredictable. So understand the bill and make sure you test for how those costs scale.
You're in execution mode now, which means making all those business benefits a reality, which in turn means preparing the technology environment for AI. The central problem for achieving technology outcomes in an AI world is that with Gen AI, things get messy. Here's what I mean. First, the data used by Gen AI will come from everywhere and in any form. Only 10 to 30% of most data in enterprises is structured. The rest is unstructured. To access the potential in all those emails and call center recordings, HR policy PDFs, and case reports, we need to activate data from everywhere. Data in a data lake? We need that. Data that's in PDFs and shared drives? We need that. Data in the form of audio recordings and customer service? We need that too.
But making unstructured data AI ready isn't the same as for structured data. Think of walking into a really messy room. Before Gen AI, you had to clean every last inch of that room before you could find anything. Now, you can just leave the room messy. There's data lying on the floor, draped over a chair, shoved under the bed, in the pizza box. But now you can just say, that's cool. Because in a Gen AI world, you won't clean your room, at least not in the traditional sense. Gen AI tools will find those running shoes hidden under the bed and tag them and everything else in the room. Now, before you get too excited, let me say clearly that you still need sophisticated data management. You can't abandon data management because even though Gen AI tools can technically do this, it's costly to leave every single room messy, at least today. But help is on its way. The tech vendors are racing to lower these costs. For now, you'll want to clean up some of the rooms yourself because Gen AI is a pretty expensive housekeeper. There's one more really mundane but important gotcha. Access rights. Who has got the right to walk into your messy room? Who's allowed to touch your stuff? Think about all the reports, the presentations, the emails, the messages that you created. Do you know what access rights you provided for them? How about your team's performance reviews, the salary letters, the presentation on the pending new org chart? This is the big gotcha of your unstructured data. The models can and will vacuum up everything. But what if you didn't set your permissions correctly? Then the model will let everyone into your messy room. So our advice, focus on getting the data access right for your unstructured data. It won't be AI ready until you do this. And this is something that you can all do today, even if you're at the very beginning of your AI journey.
Data isn't the only thing that's coming from everywhere. AI is coming from everywhere too. AI models and apps are starting to pop up all over the place. Your ERP will have an AI add-on in every module. Your CRM will have a new chatbot. Your case management system already snuck in a new AI feature that you just found out about last week. By 2026, that's not that far away, more than 80% of software vendors will have embedded Gen AI capabilities into their enterprise applications. To put that in perspective, today, that number is less than 5%. So we said data is coming from everywhere. Now think of all your applications. Take 80% of that, and that's the number of AI applications you'll have to evaluate before bringing them into your enterprise. And that's just the AI embedded in the applications you already run. Your own departments will add AI too. Maybe they already have. Your HR department will ask you if they can bring in new AI software they say everyone in HR uses now. Your comms department didn't even ask. They told you after the fact that they're using a new AI content tool. This is BYO AI. These departments will want to bring their own AI. Then there's the stuff you'll build in-house, just like you've always done. Suddenly, we've gone from AI scarcity to AI excess. It looks like a constellation of chaos. How will you say yes to AI safely amongst all this chaos? You'll need a new AI tech stack, and we'll help you get there. Here's how to build it.
As we said, many applications will come with AI embedded. Some are already in your application portfolio. Your data science and engineering teams won't be building Gen AI foundation models anytime soon, but they'll still build traditional AI. Meanwhile, as Mary said, the departments in your organization are also going to bring their own AI. It'll come from the business and not from more centralized IT and data science, so we'll place it near the top. Data will come from everywhere too.
Let's look at what we've got. It doesn't really look like a tech stack, does it? A tech stack is bottom up, one thing stacked on top of another. But this has a bottom and a top. On the bottom is all the stuff from IT, typically centralized. On the top is all the stuff coming from everywhere, typically decentralized. Data on the bottom, data on the top. AI on the bottom, AI on the top.
As Mary said, this doesn't really look like a tech stack. Honestly, it looks more like a tech burger. But we can't seriously say tech burger, so we're going to call it a tech sandwich, because that sounds so much more sophisticated. You'll need to build one to accommodate AI and data coming from everywhere. The tech stack is out, the tech sandwich is in.